Let's build this out step by step, linking scripture with history using the Old Testament, New Testament, and Apocrypha to show how. 1. Israelites were scattered. 2. Some reached distant lands like the Americas. 3. The curses of Deuteronomy 28 followed them. 4. And how prophecy was still fulfilled, even far from Jerusalem. 1. The covenant and the warning. Deuteronomy 28, Torah. Open quote. Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, all these curses shall come upon thee. Close quote. This chapter outlines the consequences for breaking the covenant. Notably, open quote, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. Close quote. That includes the Western Hemisphere, even before colonization. Open quote, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Close quote. This verse is widely understood to refer to the transatlantic slave trade, and Egypt is symbolic of bondage. See Exodus 22. Israel's early scattering, Old Testament prophets, open quote, 2 Kings 17:6. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria, close quote. That was the northern kingdom being taken to captivity. Open quote, Jeremiah 16:13-15. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. Close quote. This hints at a future return from a place more distant than Egypt, lands unknown to their fathers. Number 3. Fleeing to another land, Apocrypha. Open quote, 2 Esdras 13:40-45. This is the key. Close quote. Open quote. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners, who took counsel among themselves, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, that they might go into a further country, where never mankind dwelt, until the latter time. Close quote. This verse describes the northern tribes fleeing Assyria, heading into an uninhabited land, Arsareth, which many scholars and researchers believe refers to the Americas. So, they got to the land through divine guidance and escape, not slavery. Number 4, they still fell under the curse. Old and New Testament, open quote, Leviticus 26 verse 33. I will scatter you among the heathen and will draw out a sword after you, close quote. This covenant judgment wasn't limited to the land of Israel. It followed them wherever they went, because it was a spiritual law, open quote. Baruch 2:30-35, Apocrypha. The Most High says Israel would remember themselves in the land of their captivity, implying that the curses would still be in effect even outside the original promised land. Close quote. Open quote, Luke 21:24. And they shall be led away captive into all nations. Close quote. Yahusha affirms that the scattering was not over, it was worldwide. How the curses caught up with them in the Americas. Even if the Israelites migrated to the Americas peacefully before Columbus, over time, they began to mix with other nations, adopted idolatrous customs, and broke the commandments again. Open quote. Judges 2:20, this nation hath transgressed my covenant which I commanded their fathers. Close quote. When that happened, the curses kicked in again, just like in Deuteronomy. So by the time Columbus arrived, they were no longer protected. They were under judgment again. The reawakening also prophesied, open quote, Baruch 2 verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. Close quote. Open quote. Hosea 1:10. In the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said, ye are the sons of the living God. Close quote. Open quote. Ezekiel 37, the vision of the 2 sticks, Judah and Ephraim, northern and southern tribes, coming together in the last days in the land of their captivity. Close quote. In summary, 1. Deuteronomy 28 laid down the curses for breaking the covenant. 2. Some Israelites escaped to other lands like the Americas before those curses fully hit. 3. Esdras confirms a migration of the 10 tribes to a land where never mankind dwelt. 4. The covenant followed them, and when they broke it again, the curses caught up with them, even across the ocean. 5. The transatlantic slave trade, colonial conquest, and destruction of native Hebrew customs fulfilled the final phase of 28. 6. The awakening we see today, people remembering who they are,